budget screen, which you just got done today.
There's actually a check would have been dropped off, so
Maybe somebody else handled it, I don't know.
it's a process that has to be worked out.
Good evening, everybody. This is the regular meeting of the council for Monday, February 26, 2018. Over to silent prayer, please. And this evening, I'm asking to remember three people from Borough Ripley: Charlene Burns, the wife of our construction official Bob Burns; Margot Talberman, who was the Res Court Administrator from 1972 to 2002; and Ms. Edith Osinski, who was a prominent, well-known member of Temple Outback Salon.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by posting on the bulletin board in Borough Hall, by email to the Ridgewood News, the Record, and by submission to all persons entitled to same as provided by law, the schedule including the date and time of this meeting. I'd like to remind all members of the public we have 3 fire exits in the council chambers, 1 on each side of the dais and 1 in the rear. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Freda is absent for notice. Councilman Balloni.
Here.
Councilman Steve.
Here.
Councilman Kingo.
Here.
Councilman Davis is also out for notice. Councilman Campbell.
Here.
And Mayor Young.
Here. I have a motion to approve Resolution 1887 to go into closed session and exclude the public for the purpose of discussing the personal matter regarding the police department promotions.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now going into closed session. We will open again.
Margaret Catley's the representative here.
Please.
For notice. Councilman Balloni.
Here.
Councilman Steve.
Here.
Councilman Kingo.
Here.
Councilman Davis is also out for notice. Councilman Campbell.
Here.
And Mayor Young.
Here. Okay. First item of business, approval of minutes. Motion, please, to approve the minutes of Mayor and Council work session and regular meeting of February 13th, 2018.
So moved.
Second. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There's no proclamations and awards this evening. Open meeting. Motion open to the public for comments for item agendas.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Would any member of the invisible public like to ask a question regarding an agenda item? Seeing no one, motion to close, please.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Appointment of personnel changes. Motion to approve the satisfactory completion of the 6-month probationary period for Jennifer Martinez, clerical floater in the Borough Clerk's Office, and salary increase from the $16 an hour probationary rate to Step 1, $19.95, effective March 6, 2018.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to approve the step increase for Chris Lau, crossing guard, from an hourly Step 1 rate of $18.15 to Step 2, $19.16, effective March 2nd, 2018.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to approve the extension of the 6-month probationary period for Edwin Alter, Land Use Tax Assessor Clerk, for an additional 3 months, effective February 28, 2018.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to approve the hire of Linda Mohan. Morgan? Mohan? How do you say her name? Mon? Okay. As a part-time recording secretary for the Municipal Land Use Board at a B scale probationary rate of $16 per hour, subject to a 6-month probationary period effective February 27th, 2018.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And a motion to approve the appointments of Councilwoman Davis, Police Chief Caridi, Arlene Faustini, Paul Jacobson, Paris Myers, Jonathan Morissette, George Siderius, Beth Canigo, and Jimmy Tehan as representatives for 1-year terms through 12/3/18 to the River Edge Municipal Alliance, effective February 27th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Correspondence. We have Various correspondence is available from the clerk's office. In addition, a monthly report on file for the Environmental Commission for January 2018 and the Tax Collector's 2017 Annual Statement of Receipts. We have no ordinances on for first reading this evening. We have two ordinances on for public hearing. Ordinance 1815, Madam Clerk, please read by title.
Ordinance 1805, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a tax fund for the calendar year 2018.
Motion to open the public hearing, please.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There's no member of the public present. A motion to close the hearing on the public, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion for the adoption of ordinance 1815.
So moved.
18-5, right?
18-5, I'm sorry.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Barloni?
Yes.
Councilman Steve?
Yes.
Councilman Kamiga?
Yes.
Councilman Papalayo?
Yes.
Ordinance 18-6. Madam Clerk, please read by title.
1806 is an ordinance to amend ordinance number 1803 to fix the salary, wages, and compensation of the officers and employees who are overgrads in the county of Bergen in the state of New Jersey for the year 2018.
Motion open to the public, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Again, no members of the public present to comment. Motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to adopt ordinance 18-6.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Barloni?
Yes.
Councilman Steve?
Yes.
Councilman Kamiga?
Yes.
And Councilman Papalayo?
Yes.
Okay, resolutions by consent. We have resolutions numbered 18-88 through 18-101. Any member of the council would like any of those pulled out for separate discussion, consideration, or vote? No one? Motion to approve consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Councilman Barloni, please move resolution 18-102, payment of the bills.
Thank you, Mayor. Whereas vouchers for the payment of goods and services rendered to the Borough of River Edge have been received, and whereas each bill has been checked by the receiving department, approved by the Chief Financial Officer and Borough Clerk, and reviewed by the 3 members of the Finance Committee, now therefore be it resolved that bills as listed now be confirmed for payment from the appropriate funds as follows. Current account, $121,970.66. Recreation account, $895. Trust other developers account, $1,775. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we can open again to the public for comments on anything.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Again, no members of the public present. Motion to close the hearing to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Council comments. Councilman Papalayo.
I think you should go to Councilman Barloni first, for the honor as Finance Chair,
Oh.
because I wouldn't want to steal his glory. And I think this is a momentous night, and so if you can come back to me, that'd be great. Sure.
Okay, Councilman Barloni.
You can get it. Thank you.
Well,
You know, the mayor mentioned it at our last meeting, it's always just sort of anticlimactic. You know. I even posted on Facebook, you know, we're introducing the municipal budget tonight, hoping maybe someone might come and grace us tonight, or even spur some conversation on Facebook, and it didn't even do that. The topic of whether people should be able to solicit contractors has raised more of a subject on the online page for people discussing what's going on in the borough than the borough budget. So, I don't know, maybe that tells you, maybe we're doing a good job and people just, you know, are, you know, it's on autopilot, I guess. I don't know. But here we are again, we're introducing another municipal budget. I guess this is my 6th. And I'm proud of this one, especially if it's my last. You know, I said at the sine die in the reorganization meeting that it was going to be a tough budget year, and it was. And I think if people look at the outcome, they're going to say, you know, maybe it wasn't that tough. But but it actually was a tough municipal budget to put together. And I know, starting in, as soon as we sit down, I think it's the period of time during the year where I talk to the mayor probably the most. I will, at any part of the year, is because, the red books get to, you can keep them or you bring them home or whatever. I've had that with me for the last 2 months to go over it and look at it and, study it. Because, what I usually do when we get that first position summary that Alan provides us with is, I go through it and I look and I see, well, what are the major differential changes, what are the big changes, what's up, what's down. But then you really have to go through each line item in the materials and see why is it up, why is it down, and what does it mean. And it does, it takes a very long process. And I know the mayor, you could see his file in front of him of where he's gone through every line item, and we try very hard to put this together. And so, you go through it, you talk about it, you debate it, and you try and come up with what you think is going to be a workable budget for the year. And it also really, this budget sets what the priorities are of the council for the remainder of the year. Because, you may have an idea later, but if there's not money available to do it, well then it kind of has to wait till the next year, or at least till November, when monies can be transferred between, just outside of the various line items. So it's an important thing that we do as a council, is setting this budget for the year, because like I said, not only what are the residents going to face in terms of a potential tax increase, but also what are the going to be the priorities and our ability to get things done during the course of the year is set forth really in this document. So, having said all that, you look at it and you see, well, you can see where salaries and wages have gone up, and you could also see changes in our operating costs. And as the mayor pointed out, the Finance Committee will be undertaking the task of looking at the last several years' budgets to go line by line and see where changes maybe could be made, efficiencies and things like that. But at the end of the day, when you look at everything in total, this budget presents a zero tax increase on the municipal side. And that's something I think we can all be proud of, and something I'm proud of. In particular, because it was made possible by our ability to generate and recover the surplus funds that had been diminished and almost gone at the beginning of this decade. And we put into place a surplus policy at the end of 2013, beginning of 2014, which, thanks to the hard work of Alan and his team, has regenerated at a rate, honestly, I think is quicker than we thought it was. We were asked at the last budget meeting, is there a ceiling as to how much surplus you should have? And I said, well, that wasn't a concern that we had when we put the plan into place, the policy into place, because we didn't think that was going to be something any of us would really have to worry about. But I think right now what we have is a formula in place that will be sustainable going forward in terms of our surplus and where it's at, and that as opposed to where we've been since the last 2012, using $425,000 a year, which was like 2.5% of our budget. This year, it's a little over 6%, and you can see how that makes a huge difference. Where if you just keep it somewhere around that number, it has a tremendous impact on the overall budget, and in this year, the ability to limit the tax increase to 0 on the municipal side. So that's huge, and I think we put in the Saturdays, we ate the bagels, got here early, and I think we did a tremendous job this year. And I think because of the policies that were put in place in the past, we can keep it going into the future. So, like I said, I am very proud of this, and that's about all I have to say about the budget. I just wish we have a member of the community now, but I really wish people would, you know, take the time to look at the budget and look at what we do, whether you're here or you look at it online, and just take an interest in it, because it is the single most important thing we do the entire year, is this budget. So, thank you, Mayor.
Dr. Papaleo, back to you.
Yes, I'd like to start by thanking Councilman Bordeloni, the Finance Committee, Alan Nagrian, our Citizens Budget Committee, Teresa Esposito, Anthony Barbera, Anthony Arturo, Al Rudman, Ken Krausheimer, and Constantine's last name I blinked on. Do we remember? And Constantine. We worked many Saturdays, we worked some evenings, we brought home the books, we took it seriously. And I'm also equally proud. I've been on this council now, this is my 7th year, and having a surplus that is meaningful to the budget, being able to do 0 this year is important. We represent 25.1% of our residents' tax bill, and so we only control that 25%. And we made every effort, especially given what the federal government did with the SALT tax. And I'm proud of it, and I'm proud of all those involved. Oh, and Gita, too. Please extend my thanks to Gita. And Alan, as always, without you, I don't know what we're going to do. I'm really afraid. Come 13 months from now or 12 months from now, depending on where when you might be retiring. But this has really been a great deal thanks to you and your guidance of this council and previous council, so I wanted to publicly thank you for that.
Thank you for those kind words.
You're welcome. Just real quick, DPW did, I thought, a phenomenal job during our last snow event. They also had a tree down, I believe it was on Surrey Lane. So John, he responded to the tree down, got the area cordoned off, there was power loss. He kept the men on the road, finished with the plowing, then moved back to clear the tree. There was some damage to the resident's car and a couple other things. Got PSE&G in there to do their work. And so, as always, the DPW under leadership of John Lynch, phenomenal job. Many, many thanks. Shade Tree has been meeting, and but there's nothing extraordinary to report. Beautification has been meeting and planning for the summer, spring and summer, but there's nothing extraordinary to report. And I'd also like to add my condolences to all those who have passed, you know, who have been such an important part of our town, our borough, and I wish condolences to their relatives and family. Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Barloni, anything else you want to add?
No, well, yeah, I mean, because I just was touching on the budget aspect of it. My condolences also go out to the families of everyone who passed away recently. Just to talk about the 4th of July committee, I am working on it. I could definitely use the help of someone else up here to help me with it, because it actually is a lot of work. So if anyone is willing to jump in, we used to have 2 people do it when we were just liaisons, and now since there's nobody, we don't have Bobby anymore. So if anybody wants to help out, that would be greatly appreciated. But I have secured the people who provide the floats, the DJ, and I have the photo booth. I haven't gotten the face painter yet because I'm trying to, had actually some hard time finding the phone number. But I have pretty much everything for the festival in the park, the day of the 4th. I still got to get the band for the night before and work on the parade. And if anybody, any residents you know, are willing to help out, that would be greatly appreciated. Also, we're down to 2 people on the committee, so could use other people's help with that. But I am making progress with that. The mayor just sent me tonight an email for a camera system to broadcast. So I'm going to take a look at that there and see what we can do with that. I'll call them tomorrow and see what's going on with that. I think that's about it for now.
Councilman Steve.
Thank you. There's not much I can add to what's already been said about the budget, but this is a proud moment for us to introduce the 0% increase on the 25.1% of the total tax budget that faces our residents. And again, I can't thank Alan and Gita enough. Alan is always there to answer questions, as sometimes silly as I think they may be, but thank you for your guidance and your steadfast work on our budget. I will just report for recreation. They met last week. I have to really thank our commissioners for stepping into Bobby's very large shoes in her absence to keep continuity of programming going. The River Edge Run, scheduled for April 14th, Commissioner Lauren Cerullo has taken that on completely. We have more runners enrolled, signed up to date than we have in years past, so that's exciting. We also have a new charitable group running, Team Tommy, which is running in memory of Tom Maloney, donating money towards Project 375, which is a mental health awareness organization. I want to thank all the borough employees who have really stepped up and helped the commission when things needed a borough employee and there wasn't a borough employee involved to keep things running smoothly. I'll let the mayor report on where we are with the rec director interviews, but I feel good about where we are. I know the commissioners that have been involved to this point feel like we're making very good progress, so I'll let the mayor expound upon that. The Environmental Protection Commission is working really well together. They're fully organized. They've had quorums at all of their meetings. They have a social media presence now on Instagram, and they're working on a Facebook page. So I know, Mayor, there were some things you wanted to utilize that for. They're moving along. May 12th is the river cleanup, so mark your calendars for that. They were approached by Park Ridge to participate in a bi-state cleanup in the future. So they're building a relationship with another municipality, which is great. They're working with the schools. The CREATE program, the capstone students at Roosevelt are going to be working with the Environmental Commission on ways to increase composting at the schools and perhaps even in the borough. Thank you, Tom, for connecting Laura Hookstrait with Lisa Hessman. The Riverdale High School Environmental Club is going to work on video public service announcements on a recycling program, so we can promote those on social media and elsewhere. So that's another very good thing that they're undertaking. So I thank them for all of their hard work. I just want to recognize we will have a lot of residents and borough employees or borough representatives now in the Municipal Alliance. We'll be having a meeting in early March. Thanks again to Marie Papaleo for being willing to sign on as chairwoman until we organized, so I'm looking forward to moving forward with that. I just want to make a comment about what happened in Florida not too long ago. I want to recognize the suffering that those families are feeling, and I also want to recognize the organization that young people have undergone in this nation to really raise awareness about gun violence, sensible gun control. I had made a statement in October after the shooting in Las Vegas about how thoughts and prayers are important, and I would certainly extend those, but that action is necessary. And it saddens me that this country's not gotten anywhere with any type of action since the Las Vegas shooting, and we've now had to, as a nation, experience what we experienced last week. So I met today with representatives of Moms Demand Action, the Bergen County chapter. I know that representatives from the PTO have also met with this group. I'm hopeful that through the PTOs we can bring to River Edge, possibly Oradell, and possibly New Milford, their Be Smart program about how to be smart about guns, gun storage, and what have you. I think they may be small action steps, but they're action steps nonetheless. And I will do everything that I can to do that, and I know that my fellow council members will as well. So, thank you.
Councilor Kaniga.
Thank you, Mayor. Once again, I echo everybody's thoughts. First of all, condolences to the families of all who passed. I'll be happy to work on the 4th of July committee with you.
Thank you.
You know, as my second budget, although this is the first time that I was fully involved from the beginning, I'm thrilled that we are able to bring a zero tax increase on the municipal portion. I hope that, you know, I'm sure that the schools are working just as hard, and hopefully they will bring in as close to zero as possible within the confines and constrictions that they face. But we certainly, I know, have worked hard, as Councilman Papalero said, early morning Saturdays, evenings, you know, bringing the work home and sitting there, and in some instances making tough decisions that not everybody will be happy about when it comes to cutting things, but certainly putting together a responsible budget. So Mayor and Council has done a great job here, and I hope that the people of River Edge realize that. I thank everybody for your hard work, and thank you.
Okay. Just a couple comments. First, I'm going to reiterate Councilman's comment regarding Municipal Alliance. It's very important. It has a very important mission. We're have a serious effort at organizing it in the spirit of the state ordinance, and we're hoping to expand from what we were able to do based on the little bit of money we actually do get from the state. So by bringing all the different stakeholders and different perspectives, and I'm still waiting to hear from several other people, I think we're going to have a very, very rigorous and alliance, a lot of different viewpoints, and hopefully we'll be able to start making some really positive impacts. As obviously you know, this is one of the biggest crises facing not just River Edge, but the state, country. For the Recreation Director, we have interviewed 3 candidates so far, and we have 4 more scheduled. And you know, I'll say it for myself, and I think Councilman Steve would agree, we have some very strong candidates.
Nice.
And I think we're very impressed by some of them, and hopefully we will have somebody, you know, ready for an interview, or at least come and speak to the council, they'll speak to the commission, and hopefully we'll have somebody on board by April 1st. That's our intent. So it's going very well, and I think we're very, very optimistic that we're going to get somebody who's going to be a very, very good addition to River Edge. Just in the budget. It's always the time of the year my wife dreads the most, because I put myself into the office with my books, and I start my dueling spreadsheets with Alan's. I've said time and again, you know, for my first day on the council, is that in the state statute and in practice, the most important thing this council does is set the budget. It sets the priorities, and also obviously has direct impact on the finances of our residents. And we are clawing back from a very, very bad place. And to bring this zero budget in today is a phenomenal accomplishment. It's a matter of cost control, not just from the operating end, but our department heads have really streamlined operations to the best that they can at this point. And like Councilman Bartolome said, we implemented a debt policy, we implemented a surplus policy. And I'm going to thank Alan again, because he tolerates all my questions, tells me if I think I'm going too far about reducing a certain line or not. And I listen to him 99% of the time. And he responds to my various requests for what maybe seemingly disjointed or odd information, because he even asked them this morning if they could send me copies of audits from 2004, 2000, and 1996. And Alan said to me tonight, what was the purpose? Well, the purpose was I wanted to look historically where the tax rates have been. And since 1993, this is the 3rd time we've had a zero budget. Last time, or the first time, was 1994. Our fund balance stood about $5.8 million. They used $1 million for the surplus, for revenue. Pretty similar to where we are today. Our fund balance now is we're probably back to where we were in 2008. Not as high as our all-time high, which is 9 million plus or minus, 2004, 2005. 2007 was the last time we had a zero increase, but that was a budget where they used $3.5 million towards as revenue. That was a third of the budget. Everybody should have seen then it was not sustainable. Between those years, from 2006 through 2010, the fund balance went from 9 million to 2.3, and we hit a low of $700,000. $700,000. How much cash did we have at one time?
$80,000 that
So,
whole year.
so just to look where we were just 6 years ago, 7 years ago to now, it's I think we're very proud of that accomplishment, and the key is to keep it going. You look back into the mid 90s, and for the most part, they held a tax rate around 1%, as high as 3%. Then late 90s, it started climbing up. 2000 started 1-2%, and then went 5, and then 15%. And again, since 2011, we are where we are today. And I said, with my mission from the day I was appointed, or by default, I became finance chair when Councilman Porco resigned. It was difficult to keep the discipline. It's still going to be difficult to keep the discipline, but it's necessary. So hopefully, going forward, like I said, anybody who says that we're going to lower taxes, I would tend to put a little skepticism towards that. I've always said we're trying to stabilize taxes and keep the tax rate as low as possible. And you probably can't see it, but I started doing some little tax rate here. As you can see now, this is from 2011 on, and you see how we're getting flatter. From the scale isn't very good, but we had a dramatic increase over the early part of 2000, and we're coming flat. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we've achieved, and that's what we need to do going forward. So, yes, it's great. We got zero, and I said the challenge will be in the coming years to make sure that we can keep sight of the objective, and it's not. I don't think it'll be easy either. It's we'll have salary pressures, we'll have operating pressures like utility costs, so it'll still be a challenge, but I think the policies we have in place, and if we keep the mindset that we've had over the past several years, I think we will continue to be good and proper stewards of the residents' money. That's all I have this evening. If anybody else has any questions, comments, since Mr. Grasso wasn't here when we opened to the public, or if he wants to say something, we can open again to the public. Any comments?
I think it's important for the residents to realize. I think a lot of people, when the residents I've heard speak, say, "Oh, the taxes are up again." To differentiate between municipal taxes and school taxes, as basic as it seems, I think a lot of people just look at the tax bill as all municipal. Years ago, the tax bill got the stuffer in there, that pie chart that was all municipal and the school. I don't think still do that. That'd be something beneficial. Hopefully, the school could do as school does as good a job as the council.
Thank you. Any comments, questions? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And